Well, it's a very good afternoon and welcome to Jack Edwards Reserve in the suburb of Oakleigh in southeastern Melbourne, home of the Oakleigh Cannons as they take on Melbourne City in this round of 32 clash of the Australia Cup. Oakleigh, what a successful campaign they had last season, making it all the way to the semi-final and on the way knocking out Sydney FC right here in Oakleigh. Today, a big task against Melbourne City, last year's premiers of the A-League men's competition, who of course lost in the grand final. Let's take a look at the starting 11, firstly for the home side, and it's a very experienced Oakleigh Cannons unit who are doing very well in the men's competition of the NPL in Victoria. Nicholas Feely is the goalkeeper, who has a hamstring injury today, but due to injuries amongst their goalkeeping stocks, they are forced to start Feely in goal this afternoon. Anton Mlinarik is another new signing for the side who play at centre-back. Expect big things from him. Stefan Valentini has been around the NPL for many years now and will be a real danger man as well. And Joseph Guest took all before him last season, the captain in the middle of the park. Former Melbourne Victory product Cameron McGilp on the bench as well for Oakleigh today. Well, Melbourne City are taking this one seriously as we take a look at their starting 11. They have a very strong side, starting with goalkeeper Jamie Young, who's joined from Western United in the off-season. Nuno Reis is at the heart of defence alongside Curtis Good. Jordan Hall, normally a centre-back, starts at right-back today. Stephen Ugarkovic, another one of the new signings in the midfield. Marin Yakolis on the left wing, a replacement for Marco Tilio. Tolgan Arslan as well, get a first chance to see him. And the Socceroos are in town as well. Matt Leckie and Jamie McLaren in the starting 11, a mixture of experience and youngsters on the bench amongst them. Max Caputo, Iran Divakovic, and of course Sebastian Esposito, some of the youngsters we might see on the park for Melbourne City this afternoon. As the players make their way onto this magnificent surface at Jack Edwards Reserve, the sun is shining. It's the middle of winter here in Melbourne, but you wouldn't know it. Perfect conditions for football. It is a little chilly, but the sun is shining and it is a great afternoon. A great crowd here at Jack Edwards Reserve as well, expecting around 2,000 here today. Outer grandstand is full. There's Tolgan Arslan, who joined the club in the off-season. A big signing. Spent the last 3 seasons in the Serie A, playing with Udinese at the top flight of Italian football. Looking forward to see him in action today. Melbourne City in their away strip. Red and white. Jamie McLaren wearing the captain's armband. As the players prepare to kick off action here. Oakleigh played on Tuesday night in their NPL men's fixture, which was shifted to accommodate this Australia Cup tie. A comprehensive win for them. And Joe Guest, the Mike Cockrell medalist from last season. That medal, of course, awarded to the best NPL player in the Australia Cup competition. He was outstanding for them last season. Attacking midfielder, 4 goals in their run to the final 4 last season in the Australia Cup. Arrived in Oakleigh back in 2019. And this man has been around Victorian football for a long time. Chris Taylor, what a great record he has at NPL level. And more success here at Oakleigh with a big win in the grand final against South Melbourne just last season. They were ravaged with injury in their Australia Cup run last season. Today, just about at full strength. Rado Vidicic, speaking of grand finals, will want to put the memories of last season's A-League men's grand final behind him, and today he can. It's the start of a new season. And a comprehensive overhaul required for Melbourne City in the off-season, losing so many big names And he's one of the men that's going to replace them. Aidan O'Neill, Marco Tilio, Valon Berisha, Florian Berenguer just announced yesterday that he was departing the club. Richard van der Veen, Geordie Boss, Thomas Lam amongst them. We've left Melbourne City. So Michael Petrillo has been busy in the off-season, signing up new players, and we get to see a few of them in action this afternoon. Great experience Arslan brings to this side. I was talking to Philip Holosko, the former Sydney FC player who convinced him to make the move. Just 32 years of age still, so plenty of football, good football ahead of him as Jamie McLaren prepares to get us underway. Adam Kersey's our referee this afternoon. He blows his whistle and we're up and running in this round of 32 clash as Joey Guest immediately steals the ball for Oakleigh. Curtis Good just caught napping there as we welcome Andrew Durante to the microphone. Good afternoon, Andrew. What a great afternoon it is here in Oakleigh.
It is a lovely afternoon, Zappers. Perfect weather, perfect conditions like you spoke about before. And I'm expecting Oakleigh to come at them very aggressive like they did last season in their cup run, and you've seen already with a corner.
There's a corner, cleared off the line, and it's in! Can you believe it? Within a minute, Oakleigh score and set the cat amongst the pigeons. What a start for the home side. That has to be a record. Melbourne City caught napping from the set piece, and no mistake made. Initially was scrambled off the line and then slammed home for the opener. A terrific set piece. There was the clearance off the line, and then a terrific finish from Connor Hampson, who opens the scoring for Oakleigh.
And that is an outstanding start from Oakleigh, exactly what they would have wanted. I was just in the middle of speaking about how last cup run they started so aggressive against the A-League teams. They really put them on the back foot, and that is a super start for Oakleigh Cannons.
That was literally 30 seconds in, I think. And we'll have to check the record books because that'll go close to the quickest ever goal. So Melbourne City immediately look for the response. And what an opening to this game. And what a great run forward from the new signing, Yakolis, who wins the free kick just outside the 18-yard box.
Yeah, clear foul there, but you can just tell from the intent of the start of this game that it's going to be a cracking game of football. NPL heavyweights, Oakleigh Cannons versus the heavyweights in the A-League. Melbourne City, both at different stages of their season. One only just beginning their pre-season, the other right at the tail end of their NPL season. So it's going to be a hell of a matchup tonight.
Tolgan Arslan with the free kick, or is it Jamie McLaren? It will be Jamie McLaren, straight into the wall. McLaren tries on the second attempt. It takes a deflection and out for a corner kick. A terrific opening here at Jack Edwards Reserve, and a fantastic crowd still streaming in. You can see behind the goals, 3 and 4 deep. Hard to get a park here, and you've got to park a few streets away and make your way to the ground. So there'll be plenty more streaming through. They've missed some action early, haven't they? Here's the corner, the near post, headed away comfortably in the end by Daniel Clark for Oakleigh. And what a bright opening. Stefan Valentini pressing. They're not holding back. Joey Guest also doing the press work. And Oakleigh get it back. Valentini plays a terrific ball forward. Another chance here for the home side. The shot on the turn by Wade Decker, who's got plenty of goals in his career. He's another danger man that City will need to be aware of today. Wade Decker did spend some time at Melbourne City earlier in his career. Northcote, Green Gully. 106 games, 38 goals. Wade Decker for Oakleigh, wearing the number 11 for the home side. As Guest wins it back in the midfield. A late challenge, he loses his boot. Stegan and Ugarkovic with the strong challenge. And Melbourne City will know he's one of the danger men.
Yeah, he's one of the stars of the NPL, has been for a very long time now. But what a start from Oakleigh. You can see them pressing really aggressively up high, forcing mistakes, playing up in Melbourne City's half. Melbourne City haven't yet got a grip of the game. You know, they like to play that passing game. And I think Oakleigh are going to try and pounce on that. They know they're fitter. They know they're more ready than Melbourne City at this stage. So they'll try and pounce on any mistake, try and force errors from Melbourne City, especially in that back line.
Joey Guest losing his boot in that challenge. He's the one that takes the free kick, floats it into the area. Valentini tried to win the header. Hopefully have another opportunity to get it forward. Daniel Clark it was. There's the challenge from Ugarkovic, which put him in the book, the first player to receive a yellow card this afternoon. Headed away by Nuno Reis. Now Talbot. Reis under pressure from Guest again. Oakleigh continuing to press. Lecky. Shrugs off Wayne Decker. Curtis Good. Now for Talbot. Plays it inside for Matthew Lecky. Lecky misguides his pass and Oakleigh will retain possession here through Wellsmore. Talking to Chris Taylor before the game, he was saying he's got a very young back line. All three out of the four, age 20 or 21. So a big afternoon for them. Connor Hampson, Anto Milanek, who's just joined from Queensland, Brody Boyce and Emlyn Wellsmore. Here's Valentini with a good ball in again, looking dangerous. Foul there. Melbourne City will get some reprieve.
Yeah, it's going to be a big night for the young boys at the back, like you mentioned. Milinaric and Boyce, only young boys up against a Socceroo, Jamie McLaren, Matthew Lecky on the other side. So if they can contain them, they'll be doing a really good job tonight.
Nuno Reis. Magnificent afternoon here in Melbourne. Home fans have liked what they see so far. Decker sees it over the line. Arslan for Talbot. Good to see Aziz Bayic here as well today, not named in the match day squad, the Socceroo. But he'll be ready next week. Melbourne City have got a practice game next week against Western United, your boys, Andrew Durante. So expect to see Aziz Bayic get some game time there, and then should Melbourne City progress, they'll be ready to get some match time in that fixture. But they've got some work to do if they want to get there now. As the shot comes from Wellsmore, the right back. Just off the side and missing the target.
Yes, the fullback getting forward really well here. Just couldn't direct his shot on goal, but the intent's there. Fullback's pushing on high, really trying to suffocate the Melbourne City back line. creating some good chances early on.
Successful season this year as well for Oakleigh. They've already got some silverware in the cabinet, and in fact it's here at the club. They saw it earlier, the Doherty Cup, great traditional cup competition here in Victoria, winning the final against Heidelberg United last week. As they move forward again, Guest for Valentini, back to Guest. Alex Salmon was waiting in the middle, the striker, 29-year-old, spent some time in Perth and Green Gully, a successful stint at Green Gully with 57 games and 41 goals. That's a very, very handy return. Valentini wins another corner kick for Oakleigh.
Yeah, they're really piling the pressure on. They're trying to pick the pocket of Melbourne City, who we know they try to play the passing game and like to play out. They don't like to go long. And Oakleigh are really pouncing on mistakes here, forcing errors, and another corner for them.
Connor Hampson with the first goal scorer. This time, ball nodded in to a dangerous area again. Melbourne City need to clear it, and Jamie Young this time comes quickly and takes it cleanly. Of course, Melbourne City, I didn't mention one of the players they lost in that conversation at the start was the goalkeeper, Tommy Glover. Hence the arrival of Jamie Young this season. Good to see Tommy Glover getting some game time as well in the Cup for Middlesbrough during the week. Game which featured Riley McGree, Samuel Silvera as well, got on the score sheet. Just be gathering their thoughts here, Melbourne City, and after that shock first goal, trying to work their way back into the game. I know they've got their work cut out for them because this is one of the best teams in NPL football. Arslan, back to good. Raish, long ball forward, looking for Matt Leckie. Wellsmore did well.
Yeah, it's better play from City. They're starting to get a grip of the game, get the ball moving. They move the one side to the other. Lovely diagonal from Nuno Raish to Leckie, but it was really well defended from Wellsmore. But a sign that they're just starting to get a little bit more rhythm in this game now.
Arslan, the go-to man to set things up. They win it back. Here's Decker. Had an option on the left, decided to go right. Wellsmore has been busy in the last few moments. Wins it again. Two Melbourne City players to beat in the end. The numbers win out. Talbot to Leckie. You just tell the Melbourne City players probably not as conditioned as the Oakleigh players. They're very early in their pre-season, and Talbot and Matt Leckie down on their haunches already, breathing in the big ones.
Yeah, they won't want to turn this game into a transitional game. They'll want to try and control it, control the tempo. Like you said, they're very, very early on in their pre-season training. Oakleigh are full of energy, but the only way they can control that is with the ball, and they control the tempo.
Great ball by Arslan. Lopane to Leckie. Alessandro Lopane with the ball to the far post, and that's an easy one for Nicholas Feely. Interesting talking to Chris Taylor, the coach of Oakleigh beforehand. Nicholas Feely in goal today. You can see that bandaging on his hamstring. They're very heavily strapped and normally wouldn't be playing, but forced to start him today, given injuries to goalkeepers. And you might remember last year we had the 13-year-old goalkeeper. I'll just stay with play here. It's Valentini. Makes a terrific run. He cuts the ball back, and that was a fantastic opportunity for Oakleigh. He's very dangerous with the ball at his feet, Stefan Valentini, and so is this man. Arslan on the counter-attack now for Leckie. Melbourne City look for a response. Hall into the middle for Ugarkovic. Arslan to Good. Now Talbot with the fancy footwork. Here's Leckie. City forced to go back and rebuild. Garkovic in short for Arslan. Plenty of traffic ahead of him. Now a chance on the right-hand side. Ball played into the area. Lepane was there. And the ball from Marin Yakolis couldn't find its way through. Here he is again. Yakolis cleared away. Oakleigh doing well. 15 minutes in, they lead Melbourne City by a goal to nil in this round of 32 clash of the Australia Cup. The winner progressing to the round of 16. The draw for the round of 16 will be held tomorrow night, straight after the conclusion of the final games in the round of 32, which are being played tomorrow evening. I'll be up in Sydney for that, hosting that Jura, and David Carney will be conducting the draw to find out who's playing in that round of 16. I know that Melbourne City are very happy with the facilities here too, and if we were told if they do progress, they have requested the use of this facility for their round of 16 tie. Either way, I think we might have a game here if one of these two progress, if they are drawn at home, of course. Here's a chance now for City to the far post. Yakolis. Well taken. Well taken. Hits the post. It was a nice move from Melbourne City there, and not far away from an equaliser.
Yeah, it's a lovely ball here from Leckie to the back post. Yakolis is there. Lovely volley. Saved well at the near post from Feely. But just a little sign that City are starting to get into the game now. They've controlled the ball a lot better now, controlling the tempo.
Every vantage point taken here at Jack Edwards Reserve. Great to see so many juniors here as Melbourne City take the corner. This is Lepane. Nuno Reis spreads it out wide. Now Yakolis with the back heel. An opportunity on the edge of the area. Cleared away though. Anton Lunanic. A free kick for Oakleigh, but the advantage paid. Decker. Guest makes the run. Nice ball in, almost won by Joe Guest. Wanted a handball. And Kersey said, no, let's play on. Lepane moves it along quickly for Leckie. Leckie is now switched over to the right and Yakolis over to the left. Interesting to hear the words of the new signing, Marin Yakolis, when he joined. Said he's looking forward to playing, of course, here, and had spent some time in France last season, played at the League One side. Angers, who were relegated. But he does hold an Aussie passport and said, well, if I have a great season, I'm love to put myself in the window. Here's a chance for Talbot. There's a good movement. Once again, Melbourne City starting to find some openings, and the shot just wide of the mark from Callum Talbot on that occasion.
Yeah, it was a lovely work move. Lovely little flick from the outside of the foot of Leckie. But then the shot just curving away outside of the foot. But another warning sign for Oakleigh. There's a few spaces opening up in that midfield area.
Melbourne City 4 shots now. 2 of them coming in the last couple of minutes. You tell me where Matthew Leckie's playing, because he keeps switching now. He's now back on the left wing, and Baron Yacolis has gone over to the right. Yacolis is signed as a left winger to replace Marco Tilio, but obviously can play on both sides of the park.
I don't think you might see that throughout the game, that the wingers will decide to switch sides depending how they're going up against the defenders. Actually, Wellsmore's actually doing a really good job at the moment on Leckie.
There's another chance for Oakleigh. The shot comes from Daniel Clark. Blocked. Stefan Valentini now. Dispossessed. Raish. Better from Melbourne City now. And a foul. Awarded to the reigning A-League men's premiers. Good to see that Scott Jamieson also joining the ranks of the coaching staff this season at Melbourne City. So we wish him all the best in his new role. And part of our commentary team too during the week. I'm told that within 3 minutes, Andrew, of that game, he was very critical of the referee. Does that surprise you?
Not at all. Looks like he might coach the way he played the game. Very vocal.
Here's Nuno Raish with a sweeping ball over, looking for Matt Leckie. Wellsmore has a job to do here and does it very well. Body on body with Matt Leckie. We know that's not tough. He's very strong, Matt Leckie.
Yeah, he's done really well there. Wellsmore, it's going to be a big job for him all night if Leckie stays on his side. Very powerful, very direct. Leckie, we know what he can do, what he's capable of, but so far he's handled him quite well.
Decker. Wellsmore. Good work by Oliver Kubilay, but the number 19 for Oakleigh lost it out in the end. Good to Arslan. Kubilay watching Arslan very closely, forced to pass it out wide. Nicolas' ball was a bit short. Ugarkovic loses his footing, has to be careful. He's already on a yellow card. Joe Guest gets them moving again quickly. Wellsmore. Guest looking for the short pass. For Alex Salmon, couldn't find him. But Oakleigh will have another opportunity to build. Brodie Boyce. Ranging ball forward. And Melbourne City deal with that one. Lepane. Now an opportunity for Arslan. McLaren looks to loop it over. Oakleigh did well, had numbers back. Kubilay to Wellsmore to Kubilay. And now one of the youngsters we spoke about earlier, Brodie Boyce. Good job so far. Pretty daunting task coming up against one of the greatest ever goal scorers in the A-League's history. And next to him, then you've got Matt Leckie as well.
Yeah, not easy. Not an easy task. And I know full well that you can see here in the passes, Melbourne City really dominating the possession. I was just about to say, you can tell someone like Jamie McLaren, you think you've got him in your back pocket the whole game. You have a really good game against him and he'll pop up and score the winner. So you've got to stay switched on the entire game. But so far, they're marshalling him really well.
Here's Matt Leckie. Curtis Good. Now Yakolis for Arslan, the two new recruits interchanging there. Oakleigh doing well to clear the danger once again. Decker for Valentini. Now Decker again. Kubilay. Guest finds some space and there's plenty of it out on the left-hand side. Clark gives it away. Now City on the counter. Race for the ball and shielded away by Anton Milanit. Oakleigh opened the scoring here. If you've just joined us, within the first minute. I thought it might have been a record, but we've checked the record books. It is not quite a record. The record for the fastest goal scored in the history of this competition was the Rang Eagles. Sean Robertson found the back of the net after just 11.2 seconds, beating the record of Dan Heffernan, who scored after 26 seconds for Heidelberg United. So a big thanks to Kate, who sent me that information. Working on the socials of 10 football. Well done, Kate. Connor Hampson joins that list. Goal within a minute. And that's the goal that separates these sides as we approach the half-an-hour mark on this magnificent afternoon here in Melbourne.
Yeah, they couldn't have asked for a better start if they had planned it. It was just first corner, first attack, ball in the back of the net. They took this approach last time they played in the Cup last season against Sydney FC and MacArthur. They just really took it to them. They didn't sit back. I was always wondering how they would approach this game, if they would do the same mentality and really press them high, and they've done that. And like we said, really early goal, early start.
Leckie makes the run. And Relsmore, as he's done all day, keeps him at bay.
Yeah, clearly a tactic as well. That ball from Nuno Reis, that diagonal ball over the top, looking for Matthew Leckie, has been used quite a few times now. But Wellsmore doing really well. Corner for City.
Well, they conceded from a corner. Can they score from one? Melbourne City. Curtis Good making his way forward. Short corner taken though. Alessandro Lapane tees it up. Ball touched by Talbot. Valentini closed him down. Arslan, a terrific control of the ball, now makes his way into the 18-yard box. Fantastic play by the two recruits. Tolgay Arslan imposing himself on the contest. Talbot, here he is again. Arslan, great ball in. Offside flag goes up. Lovely movement and more encouraging signs as Marin Yakolis and Tolgay Arslan get involved for Melbourne City. And that'll please Melbourne City fans as they look ahead to the upcoming A-League men's season.
Yeah, he looks a really good pickup. Tolgay Arslan, obviously we know his quality, played in Serie A, but he's showing today. He's got some beautiful touches, some improvisation in and around the box. It was a lovely ball through.
McLaren looking to be provider on this occasion for Matt Leckie. That was a good old-fashioned hip and shoulder between Wellsmore and Matt Leckie, and they both stood their ground and they both kept going. Valentini working hard to try and dispossess Matt Leckie. Cut out in the midfield by Daniel Clark. And they break down that attack once again.
Yeah, just watching Tolgay Arslan, the way he moves, the way he finds pockets. Very clever player, always looking for the space where he can receive the ball in between lines. Always wanting the ball. He'll be a real feature, a real man, the man that they look for during the season, Melbourne City.
Played with several A-League players that we've become familiar with over the years. Marcelo, the Western Sydney captain amongst them. Spent some time in Germany, of course, and in Turkey, as well as the last 3 seasons at the very top level of Italian football. Reading an article in preparation for today. I'll stay with play for a moment. Talbot called offside. Tolgay was playing for Udinese against Inter Milan, scored a goal that day, and they beat Inter Milan, which is not easy to do, and he went out and celebrated with his team, only to come home to find that his house had been robbed.
Maybe from Inter supporters.
Probably. They knew where he lived. Daniel Clark playing the ball forward for Oakleigh. Looking for Connor Hampson, the goal scorer. Melbourne City win it back. Arslan. This time fouled. City looking to move it quickly, and they do. Leckie has Talbot on his left. Sees a little gap ahead, decides to go for the safer option. Talbot. Now Ugarkovic. Leckie again. Makes a nice run centrally. Jordan Hall. Now Yakolis. The ball deflected out for a corner kick to Melbourne City.
Yeah, nice play again from one side to the other. Leckie driving inside with the ball. Another opportunity, set piece for Melbourne City. Try and level the scores.
Whipped into the near post. Yakolis is there. He's been lively in his first 30 minutes of Australia Cup action. Oakleigh looking to move it along quickly. Terrific release by Fearley and a good switch of play for Guest. Joe Guest, the reigning Mike Cockrell medalist. Decker is looking for Guest, misguided his pass, and Leckie is there to help in defence for Melbourne City. Doesn't have a lot ahead of him. Here's Jordan Hall. Great little venue here in Oakleigh. Jack Edwards Reserve. The pitch is in pristine condition as well. Wayward pass there by Daniel Clark. Kubilay. Now Emlyn Willsmore. And that one's off target. Melbourne City will win the throw. Oakleigh have shown us they can knock off A-League opposition. Cast your minds back to last season's competition right here at Jack Edwards Reserve, defeating Steve Corica's Sydney FC in the quarter-final. Eventually they went down to Macarthur in the semi-final. It was an injury-ravaged side as well. They only had 10 fit players, Chris Taylor was telling us and reminding us today.
I think Aaron Williams went down in that game as well, in that game against Macarthur, so they were very low on bodies.
Mr. Collis, Hall hits his back of his heel. Arslan just received a little clip on the way through. City repel again. Good to Alessandro Lapane. Now Callum Talbot. Little shimmy from the left back, finds some space.
You can see Oakleigh now defending a lot deeper.
Yes.
Early part of the game, they were higher up, really aggressive, trying to put pressure on the fullbacks and the centre backs, but now happy to sit a little bit deeper, try and catch them on the counter attack.
Because he had no hesitation there. Straight through the back of Matthew Leckie. That challenge, was that Daniel Clark? Here he is, comes flying in, Daniel Clark, and free kick to Melbourne City in a dangerous area.
Yeah, another set piece for Melbourne City. Dominating possession really now. Controlling the game. Like I said, Oakleigh sitting a little bit deeper. Happy to soak up the pressure and try and catch them on the counter now.
Big crowd gathered behind the goal here. Melbourne City's attacking. Free kick plucked out of all of that from Adam Kersey, and Oakleigh will have a moment to breathe. Melbourne City's really starting to create opportunities.
Yeah, Nuno Reis just illegally using his body, according to the referee.
Reis with a long ball. He's done well to find Talbot. Steve Ugarkovic. Geez, he's been around the A-League a while now and has had many clubs. Western Sydney and Newcastle Jets. Wellington Phoenix, if I'm not mistaken. Has he played with you at Wellington?
No, he was at Wellington last season. But quality play, you know what you're going to get from him. Great engines, good on the ball, good in defence. He's a good pickup for City, especially with O'Neill now departed. I think he's a good replacement.
Curtis Good makes a run forward. Talbot flicks it on for Leckie. Good challenge from Brodie Boyce. Read the danger. Got there just ahead of the Socceroo. Matt Leckie will be preparing not only for an A-League men's season, but of course the Socceroos are backing action next month, and the FIFA window comes around in September with an international against Mexico. That game will be played in Dallas in the United States. Free kick awarded here on the edge of the area for Oakleigh. Nuno Reis diving in, and Alex Salmon winning the free kick. Very dangerous position. Another great opportunity here for Oakleigh to perhaps extend their lead.
Yeah, clear foul. Good opportunity now for Oakleigh.
Alex Salmon's got plenty of goals in his under his belt, as I mentioned. Ball played into the area, headed away. Shot from a distance. Didn't get very far from Kubilay, and Melbourne City will try and move it quickly. Talbot or Yakolis. Race wins the header. Jordan Hall. And Alex Salmon. Here's the deflection. They're flying in. The tackles now.
Missed kick there from Kubilay. Tackle's going in there on Oakleigh. And I think he's made a bit of a meal in that. Not enough contact to warrant a free kick there, but you can just sense it's heating up a little bit more now.
Well, Chris Taylor, the coach of Oakleigh, will be very happy with his performance so far. As you said, Andrew, they are starting to defend a bit deeper and doing a lot more defending. They need to get to half-time ahead and then reassess from there. Lepane. Cleared away again. Oakleigh's defence holding firm. Arslan receives on the edge of the 18-yard box. Flicks it at the bottom of his sole. Lepane. It's a good. Patient build-up again from Melbourne City. Oakleigh well organised in defence. Everyone behind the ball for the home side, making it very difficult for Melbourne City to find some space. They've got some now. And the assistant referee puts his flag up on the far side and calls the free kick on Marin Yakolis.
Yeah, Oakleigh very, very compact. Not a lot of room to operate for City, so they've started to go a little bit wider, try and isolate the fullbacks and go one-on-one. You just saw a good example there, try and draw the foul. Another set piece.
You just saw how well they were organised in that defensive setup, the 4-4-2, all behind the ball.
Yeah, very, very compact. You know, it's it can work, but you can't do that all game. It's very challenging.
Here's Arslan with the free kick, and easily handled by Nicholas Feely, a goalkeeper who was born in Hong Kong, signed for Glasgow Celtic back in 2010. Didn't play any league games for Celtic, did play in a friendly, but spent a lot of time in Perth, Nicholas Feely, and also represented Australia in the Under-20 World Cup back in 2011. So great pedigree. Here's Callum Talbot. Once again, Melbourne City struggling to find an opening. A sea of blue shirts in front of them. Arslan. Terrific ball for Yakolis. Great save by Feely. Terrific play by Melbourne City. And the Oakleigh goalkeeper was equal to the task. Now on the counter-attack. A chance now. Well moved. Alex Salmon couldn't find it. And here's the ball by Arslan.
It's a lovely diagonal ball. They've been looking for those diagonal balls all night. Lovely save. Almost into the path of Leckie. But important touch there from Brodie Boyce to take that chance away from Leckie.
And once again, we've seen those two new recruits, Oakleigh Arslan and Marin Yakolis, involved in a great bit of play. It was a fantastic effort on goal too. It wasn't an easy one to take first time. Forced a terrific save from the Oakleigh keeper as we approach half-time. Best chance of the game for Melbourne City in the shadows of half-time.
We saw straight after that action, Melbourne City go on goal, and Oakleigh straight away try to counter. Almost a through ball for Alex Salmon.
Here's Nuno Reis with some space, and the big centre half couldn't find the pass. Did it take a deflection? I think it might have, a corner kick. Melbourne City perhaps with one more opportunity just before the half-time break.
Yeah, Oakleigh will want to go into the half-time break 1-0 up. They're going to have to be switched on here, make sure they're defending well. Maybe one of the last moments of the half coming up.
One minute to be added as Melbourne City take the corner. Feely comes and does very well. A big double fist clearing the danger in heavy traffic as well. Lepane. Composed under pressure. Ugarkovic. Looking for Leckie with the long ball. Decker tries to keep it in and prevent it from going for a corner. He does, but only finds Callum Talbot. Ugarkovic and Talbot with a neat 1-2. And Stefan Valentini does very well. Put some defensive pressure. Forces the ball over the line. Seconds remaining in this first half. This will be the last play and opportunity for Melbourne City to find an equaliser. Talbot thinks about the cross. And there is the half-time whistle. What a wonderful start to this round of 32 Australia Cup encounter. And Oakleigh Cannons, who were the giant killers last season, are on their path again, making life very difficult for the premiers of the A-League men's competition, Melbourne City, thanks to a very early strike. Within 30 seconds, Connor Hampson from a set-piece corner has given Oakleigh the lead at half-time. Oakleigh Cannons 1, Melbourne City 0. Let's take a look at some of the action from the first half, and there was plenty of it from both sides creating opportunities. We saw Marin Yakolis, the new winger for Melbourne City, impose himself on this game. Hasn't found the score sheet yet. Callum Talbot's been busy early with that opportunity, and for me, Tolgay Arslan, Andrew Durante has probably been the pick of the players for the Melbourne City side. Here is the goal. This one came, you can see the clock, 27 seconds in, and the ball finds the back of the net 30 seconds into the contest. Incredible scenes from Connor Hampson. And Melbourne City caught napping early.
And it's a lovely finish. Not cleared off the line properly, only half cleared, and he's finished that beautifully with a side volley. Nothing was stopping that. Great start.
Melbourne City did work their way back into the contest and had plenty of possession. We spoke about it in the latter stages of that first half. Oakleigh forced back, really compact, defending really well, but 73% of possession with Melbourne City, and a lot of touches in the final third as well for the away side in that first half. Yeah,
and you look at the accurate forward passes, 186 to 45. You can see the intent from Melbourne City really going forward. 4 saves for Oakleigh Cannons, none yet for Jamie Young. So Melbourne City really pushing on in this late in that first half to try and get that equaliser.
Fantastic opening here at Jack Edwards Reserve. Sees the home side with an advantage. We'll take a short break and be back with plenty more. Don't go anywhere. Oh. Welcome back to Jack Edwards Reserve in Oakleigh, where the Oakleigh Cannons lead Melbourne City by 1-0 at half-time. A magnificent afternoon for football here. And Oakleigh looking to continue their great form, both in Victorian NPL football and in this competition where they made the semi-final last season. Melbourne City need to find something and break down this very stubborn Oakleigh defence on what is a magnificent weekend for football in this country. After last night's heroics by the Matildas, had the whole nation enthralled and on the edge of their seats, including Andrew Durante, who says he was the most nervous he's ever been watching a football match. Is that right, Andrew?
Mate, it was sickening. I had my kids nearly on the couch crying. It was. My missus had to walk out of the room. It was all on. It was amazing. It's exactly what football is all about.
Brilliant. Congratulations to the Matildas on a magnificent performance, a record performance, breaking records in every sense. And we look forward to seeing them in action on Wednesday night against England. Now, substitution for Melbourne City. Jamie McLaren coming off for Max Caputo at half-time. And I'd say that's a conditioning thing for Jamie McLaren. Returned late from his pre-season after representing the Socceroos. Had a couple of extra weeks off, so I'd imagine that would have been well in their planning to give him 45 minutes today. As we commence the second half, an opportunity for young Max Caputo, who we've seen over the last couple of seasons, both in this competition and in the A-League men's competition. Did score in the A-League men's competition for Melbourne City last season. As Oakleigh start brightly again, just as they did the first half. Terrific ball in from the left-hand side from Stefan Valentini, and the header from Joe Guest over the crossbar.
Yeah, it's a good start here from Oakleigh. It's a lovely ball in. Just couldn't guide it. He was under a lot of pressure from Nuno Reis. Just couldn't guide it on target, but good start. Positive start like they did in the first half.
Very talented player, Stefan Valentini. Every time I see him play in the NPL, he's eye-catching performances. Played at Avondale as well for many seasons in the NPL and spent some time over in Germany. Just good tries. Route 1 football on that occasion, and it's headed back into the arms of the keeper. Connor Hampson, the hero so far for Oakleigh. Scoring from that set piece 30 seconds into this contest. We're at the pointy end of NPL seasons, including here in Victoria. And Andrew, your team, Western United, just moments away from being promoted yesterday. And what happened?
Yeah, just 92nd minute equaliser. Promotion was so close, but we got one more week. It's all in our hands.
Melbourne City thought they might have had a foul there, and they do. In the end, handball. Adam Kersey spots it late and calls it late, but in the end, points to the penalty spot. Handball decision going the way of Melbourne City, and a penalty and an opportunity for City to get the equaliser there. The hand raised by Anto Mlinarik. And Melbourne City with a chance to get back into this contest. It'll be the new recruit, Tolgate Aslan, from the penalty spot.
Yeah, it took Adam Kersey a little while to make that decision. He had a look around. I think the linesman tipped him off.
So, Tolgan Arslan steps up for an equaliser for Melbourne City. Takes it well. Waited for the keeper to make his move and slots it home. No mistake from the new recruit, and Melbourne City back on level terms. We've got a game on our hands here at Jack Edwards Reserve.
It's a beautiful penalty. Very calm. Took his time, waited for the keeper, and just slotted it the other side. It's a lovely penalty, and Melbourne City are back. They were knocking on the door late in that second half. And they've got the equaliser.
Bit unlucky there for Anton Milinarik, who just got caught underneath the ball, and his arm was raised, and the ball clipping the arm, and decision going to Melbourne City. The header isn't too far away from the set piece, as well as Oakleigh try and respond. Jamie Young watched it float over the crossbar, and it was a well-taken free kick. And Oliver Kubile, I think it was, with the header in the end. On the edge of the 18, yeah, Clark it was. Edge of the 18-yard box. Difficult to score from there. The City look to respond once more. Early ball from Lapane. The keeper comes. Feely just did enough.
Another warning sign for Oakleigh Cannons.
Max Caputo putting the pressure on. A half-time substitute.
He's a boy, big boy, Max Caputo. He'll be the focus inside that box. He's good with his head. Just couldn't get on the end of that. Feely done enough.
Chance here for Decker. Holds his ground, looks for Joe Guest. Just not enough on the pass. Arslan, the goal scorer from the penalty spot, finds Matthew Leckie, and now Lapane. Here's Yakolis. Now Leckie. Nice interchange. Yakolis to Leckie. And the diving challenge this time is clean by Anton Milinarik. Sydney FC Youth Academy product. Spent some time at the Brisbane Roar as well. Played 11 games at Brisbane. Corner kick here for City. Same position that Oakleigh scored in the first half. Played across the box. Steve Ugarkovic tried the shot. Plenty of Oakleigh jerseys in the way. Valentini with a late challenge on Talbot is still in pain. on the turf. Play continues. City look dangerous again. Ugarkovic with a ball across the area. No one there to meet it. City finding another gear in this second half.
Yeah, they're looking good. They're finding a lot of joy out wide. Deliveries into the box. It's a lovely little run. It's a lovely ball across here. Just no one on the end of it.
Lepane in some space. There's space now that there wasn't in the first half for Melbourne City. And some dangerous signs here for Oakleigh. Guest does well to get the pass away. Decker under pressure. Valentini. Good play here by Oakleigh. Ugarkovic tries to intercept. Guest to Decker. Might try a shot. Wait, Decker. On target, but not enough sting to trouble Jamie Young.
And the game's starting to flow end to end now. Chances for City come up the other end. Chance for Oakleigh. A lot more space in the midfield for the midfielders to operate. The game's getting a little bit more stretched.
Ball in dispute in the midfield, and Adam Kersey sees a free kick for Oakleigh. Brody Boyce. Decker. Guest. Inside. Joe Guest on his left. Finds big striker in the middle. The offside flag does go up. The goal won't count. Alex Salmon caught offside. That's a good response from Oakleigh.
Joey Guest, such a good player, such a talented player, drives inside. Got a late tackle here.
Yeah, high one on Valentini. And Jordan Hall goes into the book, joins Steve Ugarkovic for Melbourne City in Adam Kersey's book. Ooh, very dangerous indeed.
Yeah, just mistimed. I think too much malice in that, just a mistimed tackle. But the more that they can get Joey Guest on this ball, the more things will happen for Oakleigh.
His Guest with the free kick in a precarious position for Melbourne City. A bit happening off the ball, and Adam Kersey's there to sort it out. He scored from a set piece early on here. Guest with the delivery. It's deep. Matt Leckie forced to head it out. And a corner kick on the opposite side for the home side.
An important touch there from Matt Leckie. Decker ghosting it at the back post, ready to volley one. But important header from Leckie.
Guest again with the duties. Whips it in to the far post. Jamie Young comes. He makes a meal of it. Get it across the line. Who cares? They score anyway. Alex Salmon bounce it home. And Oakleigh are back in front again. Unbelievable scenes here at Jack Edwards Reserve.
And once again, Zappers, it's come from a set piece, from a corner routine. Delivery to that far post. Jamie Young just gets it all wrong. It looks like it's gone in on the first attempt. But Alex Salmon is there to make sure there's no mistake. 2-1, Oakleigh Cannons.
I think Valentini's going to claim that one, and they'll debate it, I'm sure, tonight over a beer. Win, lose or draw, Stefan Valentini wants his name on the score sheet. He was claiming it. Either way, didn't matter. Alex Salmon belting it home. We'll get the official record from the referees. I think Valentini has good claims for that one.
Jamie Young, such an experienced goalkeeper, just read the flight of the ball wrong. He just overstepped forward and the ball over the top of him.
So we're being told it is Alex Salmon, the official goal scorer. Geez, he finished it well, didn't he? Slammed it home. Just when you thought Melbourne City were back and on top, Oakleigh find the answer. Feely comes and takes it cleanly. I suppose when you look at Jamie Young as a goalkeeper, one of the criticisms over the years has been his ability to read the ball in the air. Now here's a chance for Melbourne City to respond. We'll get to that point in a moment. Arslan sends it out wide. Leckie, plenty of numbers ahead of him. Matt Leckie goes again. Arslan tries a shot on goal, and once again Oakleigh with a heap of numbers behind the ball and an easy stop in the end for Feely. What did you make of that cross and that piece of goalkeeping?
Yeah, you were alluding to Jamie Young and maybe his ability to take crosses. I think when you look at a profile of a goalkeeper, he's probably not the tallest of goalkeepers. He brings other attributes. A fantastic shot stopper, even still late in his career. He's such an athletic goalkeeper, but clearly misjudged that. He won't be happy about that. He'll be really disappointed. He's got high standards. He'll look back on that one and be really disappointed with his positioning and his decision to try to step forward and take that.
Here's a chance at the other end that just happened moments ago. Arslan, who scored from the penalty spot.
And if Oakleigh are to win this game, they're going to have to defend like that. They're going to have to get numbers behind the ball. They're going to have to be desperate inside their box, because we know Melbourne City are going to create more chances. There's no doubt about that. So they've got to be well organised, disciplined, and desperate in that box.
The cup set is on again at Jack Edwards Reserve. Can they do it 2 years in a row? The Oakleigh Cannons against A-League powerhouses. Last year it was Sydney FC. This year it's Melbourne City. Still half an hour to go. Valentini. Edge of the area, he can hit them from there. City with plenty of numbers behind the ball. Nuno Reis. Tolgay Arslan out left for Callum Talbot. There's the number 10 once more. He's had plenty of the ball this afternoon, the new recruit. Melbourne City fans should like what they see so far. Race tries to find the ball. The long pass. Cut out. Oakleigh getting in danger for a moment. Kubilay. Wellsmore. Melbourne City dominating possession in the first half of the game, and that's continued in this second half.
And you expect that. A team like Melbourne City, they'll dominate possession in the A-League. That's their style of play. That's how they like to play the game, by keeping possession, frustrating the opposition. So there was no doubt that City were going to come here and dominate possession, but it doesn't always mean goals, and it doesn't always mean wins. As we've seen here so far, Oakleigh with the lead, 2 set pieces, and they've come unstuck.
Rapane gets the final touch. Throw in Oakleigh. Quickly taken. Good one too. Valentini. Received from Salmon. And they win the corner again.
He's been a real handful, hasn't he? Stefan Valentini. So strong on the ball. Lovely feet. Always looking to play forward, drive at his player. He's been excellent tonight.
Corner kick. Again, a dangerous one, a header. Just off target. Looking very good from the set pieces, Oakleigh.
Yeah, they are. That was Connor Hampson. Wants to get on the score sheet again. Rose highest, but couldn't keep his header down.
If you've just joined us, it was a fantastic contest so far. Connor Hampson opened the scoring 30 seconds in. Oakleigh 1-0 up at half-time, and then this man on the ball scoring the equaliser for Melbourne City. As they look for another equaliser, the ball shielded over, and it remains Oakleigh Cannons 2, Melbourne City 1. Oakleigh retaking the lead just a few minutes ago. Again from a corner kick, and Alex Salmon with the final touch. Plenty of goals for Alex Salmon in his time at Green Gully. 57 games, 41 goals there. 29-year-old is from England. Beautiful finish it was. Here's an opportunity for Oakleigh once again to create another opportunity. Decker looking for Salmon. City will clear through Leckie. Arslan wins the free kick. Wonder whether he's got 90 minutes in his legs too. A lot of these players just very early on in the pre-season. And the international recruits often arrive a little bit later and take time to get accustomed with the conditions here. Valentini goes into the book for the foul on Arslan.
Yeah, City wouldn't have played. You see the foul here. City wouldn't have played too many games. I know they had a trial game about a week ago against Western United. They played a game against Dandy Thunder the other night, but it was mostly younger players to get some minutes in legs. So they're definitely not conditioned for 90 minutes yet, so it's going to be a tough ask the later this game goes on.
Allstate. Arslan, I should say, with a terrific ball. Dealt with by the Oakleigh defence. Yakolis to Leckie, who tries a shot from outside the area. Patient build up again. Colas. Leckie. Yakolis. The two wingers interchanging passes. Leckie looks ahead and is all blue ahead of him. Decides to go back. Ugarkovic whips the ball in. Terrific pass. The offside flag goes up though. And Oakleigh will breathe a sigh of relief. Plenty of defending in the last few moments.
Yeah, they've defended that well. Max Caputo, the target off this cross. Defended well in really good positions. Two centre backs, two young boys. Milinaric and Boyce haven't put a foot wrong really. Unfortunate for the penalty for Milinaric.
As Oakleigh come forward again. The shot's on target, but that's an easy one. for Jamie Young, the new signing for Melbourne City. Of course, replacing Tommy Glover. It's a long list. I mentioned it earlier of players who've left the club in Tommy Glover, Aidan O'Neill, Marco Tilio, Vallon Barisha, Florian Berenguer, Richard van der Veen, Geordie Boss, Thomas Lam. So a lot of recruiting in the off-season.
Scott Jamison, second keeper Sutton as well.
Yep.
They lost both goalkeepers. One player that they've recruited that's not here today, Samuel Cyprien, the French centre-back. I believe he's just nursing a little bit of a calf injury, but he's a big signing. He's got Serie A experience, played at Verona. He'll be an important member.
Wade Decker out on the far side, requiring some treatment. He's been good for them so far today. Player with great experience at this level. Also did spend some time at Melbourne City. Remember him coming on the scene as a youngster. Joined Oakleigh back in 2018. Wade Decker, 106 games and 38 goals. Very important player in this setup.
We've got Chris Lucas on the bench, who featured heavily in the last cup run last season against Sydney FC and MacArthur. So I'm sure he'll be someone that they'll look to bring on if Decker can't continue.
So just over 20 minutes of regulation time remaining here at Jack Edwards Reserve, and the reigning A-League men premiers need to find something. Leckie to Talbot. Now to Caputo inside the area. Max Caputo finds Leckie. Leckie's pass is wayward and Oakleigh have a chance on the counter. Leckie chasing Joe Guest down. Now a chance for Valentini. Does very well, Stefan Valentini. Finds the byline, cuts the ball back and required a good interception. And Jordan Hall did well in the end.
That's a great counter-attack. Joey Guest driving the ball forward. 3 or 4 Melbourne City players chasing him down. He releases it to Valentini, and we spoke about Valentini. We spoke about Valentini before. So direct, such a handful. He's won his team a corner.
Melbourne City have looked vulnerable from this situation today. They've conceded twice from exactly this situation. Corner kick comes in again. Curtis Good wins it on this occasion. Caputo smashes it out of the danger zone. Clearance from Wellsmore. Doesn't go very far. Lepane. Some space here for Melbourne City. Arslan. Terrific pass for the other recruit. Yakolis across the face of goal. Nobody home. Arslan. They reload. Talbot looking for Caputo. Well headed away by Brodie Boyce. Just too high for Joey Guest. He was in some space. Now Grakovic switched it in for Caputo. Caputo couldn't get there, and good pressure by Nick Fearley made it very difficult for the young striker. So substitution now for Oakleigh Cannons. Wade Decker will be the one to come off after receiving an injury. Looked a little worse for wear. And it'll be Kingsley Sinclair to come on to the park. So a terrific shift by Wayne Decker. Sinclair gets his opportunity on the big stage of the Australia Cup round of 32. Oakleigh about 20 minutes away from another massive upset in this competition. Here's the goal scorer, the latest one, Alex Salmon, winning the throw-in for Oakleigh. Arslan with the ball over the top for Marin Yakolis. He's been very good for Melbourne City today. Lepane. Nuno Reish finds a terrific pass for Arslan again. The ball into the area for Steve Ugarkovic, who skies his opportunity. But that was well worked for Melbourne City.
Yeah, really well worked opportunity there. Some lovely balls in between. Arslan slips the ball. And Ugarkovic just inside the 18-yard box. Couldn't keep his shot down. Not really known for his goal-scoring feats, but that was a great chance. Should have hit the target from there.
Lepane gets through a few Oakleigh Cannons defenders. In the end, he was stopped by Brodie Boyce, who's been outstanding at the centre of defence.
Yeah, strong contact, but Nicole's going to have to get used to that. The Australian League, very physical. I'm sure he'll be on the receiving end of plenty more of those throughout his A-League tenure.
Daniel Clark's ball cleared by Callum Talbot. Now Boyce again. He's the danger, and Curtis Good goes back. Sorry, Reish goes back to Jamie Young. Good standing alongside, calling for the ball now, and he receives it.
Oakleigh doing a really good job here, just frustrating Melbourne City a little bit. They can't find the passes, the gaps that they're looking for. They're well organised at the back, Oakleigh. Really making it difficult for Melbourne City. The more they can do that and stay compact and organised, the more City will become frustrated.
No chance here for Oakleigh to create an opportunity. Ball to the byline, and it was a good run by the fullback, Wellsmore, who was very good in the first half as well. Lecky. As Melbourne City search for an equaliser for the second time this afternoon. Nuno Reish's ball's too heavy.
Yeah, it's a lovely run by Wellsmore, just ran out of room. The angle was just closing in on him. Easy pick up for Jamie Young, but really good intent there from the Oakleigh Cannon fullback.
Here's Hall. Now Reish. Clear the danger, the substitute getting a foot on it. Kingsley Sinclair. Well, on Wednesday night, Andrew, we were lucky enough to be up in Shepparton and see another terrific contest, and Apia Leichhardt making their way through to the round of 16. Of course, the draw for the round of 16 will be held tomorrow night, the conclusion of the round of 32 matches. The remaining fixtures to be played this afternoon and tomorrow. As Melbourne City claim for another penalty, and guess what? They'll get another penalty. Melbourne City with another opportunity from the penalty spot to find an equaliser. What an afternoon, and what drama here at Jack Edwards Reserve. 2 corner kicks scored and converted for Oakleigh, and will it be 2 penalties for Melbourne City? Another handball on the edge of the area. Stefan Valentini, I think it was, doing some defensive work and just clipping his hand on the way through. And once again, it'll be Tolgay Arslan. He waited for Nicholas Feely last time to make his move first before calmly slotting the ball to the goalkeeper's right side. Adam Kersey just calling over the medical staff from Oakleigh. Not sure what he's seen there, but there'll be a delay before old Tolgay can attempt another penalty.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Oakleigh. 2 penalties. The first one, not a lot the defender could have done about it. Don't think he knew a lot about it, but it has hit his hand. This one, the cross has come in, just fired in from close range and hit the arm. It's always a debatable one when there's a handball inside the box. You can see his hand is probably a little bit away from his body. But again, there's always that debate about natural positions and unnatural positions. The referee's seen it as a penalty. Aslan has to wait now. The mind game starts. Does he go the same way as his first penalty? Does he go a different way? We saw the other night with the Matildas, the drama, the mind games of a penalty shootout.
Big moment here in this contest. The new recruit who joined from Serie A outfit Udinese. In his first competitive fixture for Melbourne City. For the second time today, can he find the equaliser? He can. Comprehensive again. Almost identical, and Melbourne City are back in this contest. Oakleigh 2, Melbourne City 2.
Here we see the penalty again. Really unfortunate. I think it's Wellsmore who handled it in the box. But look at the composure of an experienced pro. He was cool, calm, collected, went the same way and slotted it home beautifully.
So 10 minutes remaining plus added time. Someone to find a winner. Otherwise we go to extra time. Additional 30 minutes as we saw last night with the Matildas. And then if no resolution after that, penalty shootout. Can your nerves cope with 2 penalty shootouts in 24 hours, Andrew?
Let's hope it's not as dramatic as last night's.
Andrew Durante, I can confirm, has no fingernails left after the Matildas shootout. Oakleigh well and truly still in this contest. Salmon it was. Wellsmore. Here's Guest. Great turn on the edge of the area, and Joe Guest wins a free kick in a very good position for Oakleigh.
Such a clever player, Joey Guest. Just lets that ball run across his body. Draws the foul. Dangerous position.
We've seen so many twists and turns in this contest this afternoon. Are we about to witness another one? Guest.
Connor Hampson.
Or will it be Hampson to take it?
Stepping over the ball as well.
They're both there. It will be Joey Guest to step up and fire it over the crossbar. Plenty on it. But no dip, and that's what it required from there.
Joey Guest here just going for the power option. It was always going to be challenging, always rising.
If Oakleigh can find another goal or go through in penalties, they would become the third member federation team after Apia and Sydney United to defeat two A-League teams in the final rounds. Of course, Oakleigh doing it against Sydney FC in the quarter-final last year. Thank you to Beck Trebojevic for that piece of information. Remember the Apia win against Melbourne Victory in 2018. Franco Parisi playing that day and coaching Apia on this occasion. This season, he's already secured that round of 16 spot for Apia after their win over Goulburn Valley on Wednesday night in Shepparton. Vidicic contemplating another move. As Oakleigh look to mount an attack through Alex Salmon. Has Nuno Race to beat. Salmon gets the ball into a dangerous area, a bit too close to Jamie Young. City now looking to put the result in their favour. Terry Antonis has come on as a substitute for Melbourne City. Speaking of players who are well travelled, Terry Antonis has seen a few A-League clubs in his time as well.
He has had a difficult time of it the last few seasons with injury. Western Sydney Wanderers last season didn't see much game time, if any. So hopefully he can get his body right in the big season here at Melbourne City. So talented, beautiful footballer.
Caputo caught offside.
Melbourne City will want to get this game wrapped up in the 90 minutes. The last thing they would have wanted is to go to extra time. A lot of tired bodies, as we spoke about earlier. They won't be conditioned for 90, let alone 120 minutes of football. Probably favours Oakleigh the longer this game goes on, potentially.
Heard the call from Joey Guest, put it in the channel. Raish, under pressure, puts it back to Jamie Young and forces it out for a throw-in. Oakleigh continuing to push. Kubele finds Guest. Too much on the cross. Kingsley Sinclair gives the foul away. I don't think the phone fans thought too much of that decision.
Yeah, fantastic attitude to get back and try and stop that counter-attack. A little bit overzealous, but the attitude was spot on. Working hard for his team.
19 fouls now conceded by the home side. Just the 9 for Melbourne City.
Saw just before, off screen, Lapane came over to the bench to get some of the pickle juice. So there's no doubt there'll be sore legs, cramping, entering some of the Melbourne City players.
The last thing they want to do at this time of the season is play 2 hours of football. Very early on in the pre-season for Melbourne City. Of course, they went all the way to the grand final last year, so they did start their pre-season later than some of the other A-League men teams. Wellsmore receives from Guest. Another throw in as the sun shines in this Melbourne afternoon in the middle of winter. Beautiful day for football at a great venue. Jack Edwards Reserve, a couple of thousand in the house. The Savlakis cooking up a storm, and the staff doing a great job of the volunteers here. We did manage to taste the delights of the local catering as another yellow card is dished out. This time it's to Joe Guest.
That was a nasty one from Joey Guest. Comes in late from behind. Yellow card. But again, the intent from the Oakleigh players is to get back in, help their teammates. They need to hang on to this.
When you look at the game so far, Melbourne City have created some chances, but Oakleigh have done a fantastic job to contain them and force Melbourne City to find a solution to break them down. Could this be one? Talbot. Boyce read it well at the near post, clears the danger momentarily. Here's Leckie. Ugarkovic. Antonis. Now Curtis Good plays it in, looking for Matthew Leckie. Finds Leckie, and Caputo has a chance to seal it just outside the 6-yard box and skies it over the crossbar. Terrific opportunity for the young man.
Huge moment for Melbourne City. Matt Leckie beat the offside trap. The Oakleigh defenders had their hands up for offside, and he's cut it back. Caputo on the edge of the 6-yard box, and he skied it over. He'll be so disappointed with that attempt. Really, really big opportunity for Melbourne City.
Antonis gets a foot in, almost wins it back for Melbourne City. Hampson does well. Very well indeed. Finds Guest. Can't find the cross though. Salmon was waiting in the middle. Here's Clark. Melbourne City will repel. Leckie. Can he find the winner? Additional 5 minutes to be added here. Wellsmore. Can't keep the ball in play, and Melbourne City will have a throw in. Can they find a late winner in added time? The A-League premiers. They don't want the record of being another A-League team to fall to Oakleigh Cannons at Jack Edwards Reserve. Sydney FC fell victim last year. Will Melbourne City be the next one? Talbot goes down and still down. Play continues. Wellsmore. Deflected out for a throw in.
Matt Leckie's put in a mountain of work back here defending at the moment. Whenever there's a counter-attack, his first one forward. He's put in a huge shift.
Could be late. Wellsmore can't maintain possession for Oakleigh, but they'll have another opportunity to build something here. Milanic, edge of the area, a tangle. Still a chance. The shot on target, Damie Young, forced low. Daniel Clark with a terrific effort, and it required the very best of Damie Young to keep Oakleigh at bay.
It's a big save. Clark's got good contact on that. Looking for the bottom corner. Damie Young gets down low, parries it away.
They've conceded twice from a corner. Will they do it again? Oakleigh were claiming that perhaps there was a foul. The ball was played straight to the big centre back. Anton Milanic had a great opportunity from that corner as well.
It was a great opportunity. I think Daniel Clark, his own teammate, almost got in the way of him connecting to that properly, but it was a great opportunity.
He's been in everything, Milanic, today. Unlucky to concede the first penalty with a handball and almost snatching a winner.
A really young backline, we spoke about that early on, but the way that Milanic in particular has marshalled that backline, watching him, he's organising his line, he's marshalling his troops around him and in front of him. He's been really impressive tonight.
Time running out for Melbourne City to find a winner. Will this be their last opportunity? Curtis Good, patient, finds Talbot, and Tonus whips the ball in. Terrific ball in by Terry Tonus. And what about the finish? Alessandro Lapane, with seconds remaining, seals it for Melbourne City in dramatic circumstances. Wow, what a finish.
Absolute scenes here as Jack Edwards. Less than probably a minute to go, and Melbourne City have found a way. Oakleigh Cannons have defended so well all game. It's a lovely ball, Antonis, first time with his left foot across the box. And it's a super finish. He's just guided it in to Antonis. Lovely ball, difficult for defenders to deal with.
Amazing by Terry Antonis, and it took a very good finish as well from another of the new recruits. We've spoken about the international recruits, Alessandro Lapane, joining in the off-season as well, and that was beautifully taken. And so difficult to take for Oakleigh, who've been amazing all afternoon. First time they've conceded from open play. And it ain't over yet. One last chance for the home side with seconds remaining. We've ticked over the 95 minutes now. We're at the mercy of the referee, Adam Kersey. This will be it. Joe Guest with the free kick. Can Oakleigh find a dramatic equaliser? Guest with the ball to the far post. Raish with the header away. And now Jamie Young takes it with both hands. And there is the final whistle. What an enthralling contest in this Australia Cup round of 32. Melbourne City come from behind on 3 occasions and defeat a very gallant Oakleigh Cannons. Oakleigh knocked Sydney FC out last year, and they were just moments away from forcing Melbourne City into extra time. A huge sigh of relief for the A-League premiers, and that man, Rado Vidosic, They found the winner deep into added time and secure their passage into the round of 16. Full time here at Jack Edwards Reserve. Oakleigh Cannons 2, Melbourne City 3. What a game, Andrew Durante.
I think you summed it up perfectly. Sigh of relief for Melbourne City and heartbreak really for Oakleigh Cannons. They were superb all night. They fought so hard. 2 penalties they came unstuck from, but they defended so well. They attacked 2 set pieces from their end to score. But absolute heartbreak here. You can see how distraught the players are.
Here are the highlights, and it's a packed highlight reel in this one. This came in the 30th second, believe it or not, one of the fastest goals in Australia Cup history. An Oakleigh Cannon from the set piece. Connor Hampson with a terrific finish after Melbourne City couldn't clear their lines. 30 seconds in and the perfect start. And at half-time it was 1-0, and then Oakleigh early in the second half conceded, and it took their new recruit Tolgay Arslan to score from the penalty spot to get them back into the contest. He waited for the keeper, Nicholas Feely, going the wrong way, and Arslan finishing it beautifully. And then we saw their vulnerability from the corner again. Jamie Young coming, missing it completely, and a terrific finish from Alex Salmon after a scramble on the goal line again. So that was 2-1 in the middle of the second half, and then you wouldn't read about it, but a second handball and a second penalty for Melbourne City. And it was their new recruit Tolgay Arslan once again. He went almost in an identical direction. Nick Feely unlucky there, going the wrong way once again, and that was 2-2. Oakleigh continued to press for a winner. And what about this ball from Tenia Antonis? He'd only been on for a few moments, and Antonis showed the quality that we all know he has. And the finish from Alessandro Lapane was brilliant as well. Not an easy one to finish from there. The ball whipped in so hard. And here are the match stats from this Australia Cup round of 32 contest. Melbourne City dominating possession. They had 39 touches in the opposition box, and total final third passes. Andrew Durante demonstrated just how much of the ball they had in dangerous areas, Melbourne City, today.
Yeah, they were good. They were really good in majority of the match. They controlled majority of the match. They played up in Oakleigh's half. They kept the ball really well. They fashioned some really good chances. You can see the expected goals there, 3.33 compared to Oakleigh's 1.64. So, look, it was heartbreak for Oakleigh, but joy for Melbourne City. They go into the round of 16.
So there it is, Melbourne City celebrating their passage into the round of 16. They'll find out their opponents on Monday night. The Australia Cup action continues on 10 Play. Right now, you can catch up with live action. Sydney FC taking on the Central Coast Mariners. So switch over and catch the second half of that one as Sydney take on Central Coast. But from me, Michael Zapponi, Andrew Durante, and the whole team here at Network 10, thanks for tuning in. Congratulations to Melbourne City. They defeat a gallant Oakleigh Cannons this afternoon.